Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. But if you did, I'd greatly appreciate it. Hey, it is another beautiful October day, which means it's time to head to the Advent calendar, the Halloween Advent calendar, that is, and find out what movie we'll be watching today. So let's go. All right, October 3rd, what are we watching today?
No One Will Save You. Ooh, I think that's an alien one.
Oh, shoot. Is it with Christopher Walken?
No.
Oh, the new
one
on Hulu?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So I thought No One Will Save You was pretty good. It was reminding me of a lot of other sci-fi horror type movies. Specifically, well, I don't even know how like horror they are, but I don't know. It reminded me of some other sci-fi movies such as Signs, M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. So if you like that movie, you might like this one. Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. Those were, I think, the main two. But it also, had some things that would make you think of maybe Independence Day, or Jordan Peele's Nope. Let's see. Like, there were things in it that, there were some Close Encounters sort of things happening as well. Just a lot of different sci-fi films popping in to mind here. Maybe even A Quiet Place, those John Krasinski movies, things like that. So I don't know. Should I get into some spoilers? Actually, let me hold off on those a little bit, and talk about some. I hope this isn't a spoiler. I wouldn't think so, but like the alien design, the creature design, I thought was interesting to go with something relatively generic when it comes to the head. It's like all those '90s alien head stickers that we were slow dripped all our lives to prepare us for today when the aliens are presenting themselves. So that's what they look like here, but there are some unique things about them, and some of them have different like body types that were like maybe they have long arms and shorter legs, or sort of like matching length arms and legs that can do similar things. We have like their feet can do some interesting things as well. But when it comes to sort of the head and general body size, they just kind of look like your standard gray alien, right? Which I thought was cool. Also, the lead actress in this is man, I just forgot her name. Deaver, Caitlin Deaver, right? I don't know her from too many things, but I saw her in the movie Booksmart, which I liked, and then she was also on that Tim Allen sitcom called Last Man Standing. Never caught a full episode of that or anything, but I think it was very popular. And yeah, she's sort of the main character. She's really who we're following almost throughout the entire movie. It's sort of one of those films where you are just following a single character. Actually, it's very much like a home invasion movie because of that. You have this one person in this house, and they're trying to survive. And in this case, the invasion is invasion of aliens, right? Alien invasion. And she is like dominating, just like Ellen Ripley. So you're starting to think about Alien and Aliens as well when you're watching it, and just every other like home invasion movie. Or hunt movie or something like that. So a lot of other movies do come to mind. So I don't know, but I wouldn't say that like makes it feel unoriginal or boring or anything like that. I think it still has some originality to it, even though these things are popping into mind. And I don't think these things that are happening are like tip of the hat, wink at the camera style, like break the fourth wall type references. It's just they're so infused in our culture and the way in which we understand aliens, alien movies, and invasion movies and things like that, that they are just going to automatically bring those other films to mind. It's not like they're like, hey, did you catch that Signs reference we just threw at you? They're not really doing that or anything. It's just I guess a pleasant reminder of the genre, those genre tropes, right? I guess, should I get into spoilers? Let's get into spoilers. So this girl that we're following, she lives in this huge house all by herself. Huge houses. She's like 24, I think, right? And you're like, how can she afford this house? There's got to be parents in this house somewhere. No parents. But she's still also very young, right? She feels young to where you're like thinking maybe she's even younger, and that she would like still be living with parents, not having this house on her own. And this house does feel very lived in, like all of the stuff in it actually kind of feels old. She doesn't have a cell phone or anything like that. So she's very much interested in vintage older times. And it also seems like maybe this house has been passed down for years. And then we eventually find out that her mother has passed. So her mom's not alive. And we also find out, this is probably not the right order to tell you this in, but she has a very best friend who she. I said spoilers, right? Okay, spoilers. Um, a best friend who is dead. Maybe I. Yeah, okay, a best friend who's dead. And we. But she still writes letters to this person. And they died when they were young, and we find out that like she sort of like sneaks around town because a lot of she's been like cast aside in town, and when she sees her best friend's parents, like she dodges them like crazy, and then when she does see them, they like spit in her face and refuse to talk to her and stuff like that. Refuse to talk to her. That's an interesting thing. This movie only has like 3 words spoken in it, and 2 of them are like repeated. 3 words spoken, 2 of them are repeated. Yeah, yeah. So, I guess I don't know. I get into that. So yeah, these aliens are invading, and she's just like whooping them. It's like amazing. It's like, hey, she's like too much trouble. Y'all just need to like leave, right? Don't even mess with her. Don't bother her. Just get out of here. But they don't stop. Like they're invading everybody, right? And their invasion of the body snatchers is also happening. They're sort of doing an invasion of the body snatchers sort of thing, and she evades it. But then they finally get her, and then they're studying her, and they're like, what is with this chick, right? And how's she like defeating us? And then they're like reading her mind, and then they like see her past, and a part of her past we learn also in this sort of like, what is that movie with Scarlett Johansson, Under the Skin, Beneath the Skin, I'm In, or whatever. That movie comes to mind also during this scene, this like dream sequence when we're looking at her memories. And the aliens are learning like, oh man, her like mom died when she was young, and oh okay, here's her best friend. We saw some pictures of her best friend when we were invading her house. And then they see this like fight that she has with her best friend, and then she like grabs this like rock or something, and then Cain and Abel's her right in the head and then kills her friend. So we find out that she does this like manslaughter when she was a child against her friend. And like when that's happening, these aliens are like becoming empathetic because I think they're realizing nobody in town likes her. She has no friends. She's a good person. She just like made this mistake, but she's like completely canceled by society. So maybe this is an anti-cancel culture movie or something. Because these aliens, I think they feel bad for her. Unless I'm reading this movie wrong. I just finished it like 10 minutes ago. Well, what was it? Okay, yeah, we're almost at 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes ago. And I think they feel bad for her, so they're like, oh man, I don't think we need to invade her body, because that's what's happening. All the people around town are getting like implanted with this like alien seed thing, and then they become like robots, lemmings to the aliens. But they send her back down to Earth without one of those things in her throat, making her like a zombie to the aliens, for the aliens. And when they send her back, they just let her be. But the rest of the world is still being taken over, right? Still being invaded and body snatched. And it's just like, remember, we're in spoilers here. I'm just telling you everything about the movie. And they like make all those people like her best buds. So now she lives in a society that forgives her, and she's forgiven herself of the act that she did when she was a kid. So she's finally forgiven herself because she feels very bad about it. She needed to sort of go through all of this process to get through it. But then also the new town, this like idyllic, and it's kind of like an idyllic town because they're all doing her like they're doing her groundskeeping and stuff like that. They're all like kind to her and friends with her and all of that, and they're like waving and smiling and dancing with her, and she's just having this grand old time in her town where before she was sneaking around. I hope nobody sees me. I'm gonna wear my glasses and hat and stuff and try and hide to make sure nobody sees me. But now she's out in the open, arms wide open like Creed, right? And she's just like kind of living free. And I think yeah, it's about like forgiveness and not only forgiving yourself, but forgiving those who may have made past mistakes. But that mistake was pretty big, right? I mean, we're talking manslaughter here. But you know, she was a juvenile at the time. Accident. I think she was just trying to hurt, not trying to, you know, muck duck. That's an Office reference, American Office. So yeah. Anyway, I really liked it. It was just bringing to mind so many other fun sci-fi movies. There were scary moments. There were some epic moments. Some like trippy moments. Psychedelic style stuff going on, and I really liked all of it. I don't know how often I would watch it. It's almost a little too actiony for me to give it that sort of rewatch. There are some action movies I will give rewatches, um, but I don't know about like this crossover, like action horror sci-fi. Like how often am I going to put that in? For me, if it's like a horror film I'm going to watch over and over, it's like kind of like a Sixth Sense or something like that. Something a little calmer mood, right? But something action-wise I'll watch over again is like Armageddon and Speed, right? Those two. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I did really like it. Um, and the sounds were good that the aliens were emitting. The score was good. All of that was very good. I would recommend it. I don't necessarily see people like loving it and it being their favorite movie. I could see people thinking it's too slow because again, only 3 words are spoken and 2 of them are repeated. And maybe that's too much for people, but that kind of makes me think of A Quiet Place a little bit. Um, but maybe it's a gimmick, but I think it only helps the loneliness that she's feeling um, through, you know, in her life with her no parents around, her mom gone, and then her best friend not there, and then the entire town being shunning her, right? So I think it adds to the movie. Maybe it's gimmicky, but I think it works. But yeah, overall, I liked this movie. I don't know if it's one I'm going to return to a lot, but you know, for that at least one time watch, it was a good watch. I liked it, had a good time with it. So, have you seen this movie? And if so, what is it called again? No One Will Save You. Is that right? Is that what it's called? Yeah, I mean, she saved herself. She did it. She did it. And then the aliens were empathetic or sympathetic. Empathetic. They were pathetic. Empathetic. They were one of those two things to her. They felt bad for her, and they thought, you know what? Let's throw her a bone and give her a happy life where she has some buds. But anyway, did you see it? Did you like it? What did you think of it? Did you find it annoying? Did you think it was great? Or is it just good? A good one-time watch or a bad one-time watch? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.